Hey, I'm Brandon Ryan from Roland. We're here, Winter NAMM 2015 with Nova Music, and I'm here to show you the new MX-1 Mix Performer. So this is the latest addition to the AIRA range, and this is a mixer that is really designed to be played. It is part audio interface, part effector, part mixer, and it really is kind of a mixer reimagined as an instrument for the modern electronic performer. So you can see here we have a table with a TR8 and a System 1 and a TB3 and a VT3 and an SBX1 connected to a analog drift box. All that stuff is plugged into here. So the AIRA gear actually goes in just USB, and this is called AIRA Link. So one cable gets you audio up to 24-bit 96, gets you MIDI, gets you sync. It also can bus power one of the devices. And it's really clean, so just one cable, and you get multi-channel support into there. It also has 6 analog inputs, including an 1/8 inch, which is good for like smartphones and tablets and things that a lot of people will perform with these days. But what's interesting about it is from a mixer standpoint, it's really ergonomic. So like mutes are on the bottom, and they turn off and on the lights of the channel, so you can see what's being muted. There's 6 type of fader curves per channel, which you can set up instead of panners. Although these can be panners just by holding pan and move it. These are tone filter knobs, and there's 10 different kinds of EQs and isolators and filters you can set up per channel here. Master level, of course, there's really smooth LEDs. It has headphone level here, and also like cue mixing, so you can cue up any channel in your headphones and bring it in smooth or drop it in on a beat or what have you. It's also fully tempo aware, so it can receive tempo from any other device or from a computer. It can be the tempo master. There's tap tempo and shuffle. It can sync from anything plugged in. There's a nice big start and stop button like a TR8 has. And tempo control as well, but the effects are all time-based. So on each channel, you can select, you have beat effects you can turn on, and these beat effects can be filters, side chains, and slicers with different variations. And there's step sequence buttons. These are TR rec buttons like what you'd find on a TR8, but they're just miniaturized a little bit. And so you can actually step sequence the filters, side chainers, and slicers. You can create polyrhythms, all kinds of cool effects that you'll hear in a second. And then you can also send any of the channels into the master effects. The master effects have a really nice control knob for actually playing the intensity of the effects, which include delays, filters, scatters, flangers, bit crushers, rolls with 8 different variations each, so you get like 48 different effects. You can hold them down and they play, and you can change them very easily. They're meant to all be done on the fly. But you can also step sequence these effects. So if you hit combi and you hold down, like for instance, bit crush, you can bring the bit crusher in here. You can bring a delay in here, so you can clear these out. So you can determine, it will actually change what effect is happening on different steps, and you can even have it pick different presets of the effects. So you can create really crazy, glitchy things or really funky stuff. Master levels here, and you also have mastering effects which you can engage. So there's a high frequency exciter and compressor, and so you can kind of level the sound if you have other stuff in, or you're in a venue that maybe doesn't have great sound, or you need it to be a little louder, etc. So mastering effects. There's also a send and return control here, and then ability to like adjust your aux sends and tone, but everything's super ergonomic and just designed to really be played like an instrument. So another thing though is that it's also an audio interface. So 96K, 48K, 44.1, 24-bit interface. So you can actually have all the analog inputs go into the computer. It ships with Ableton Live Light. And those inputs can then go through the audio engine and back in. You can send 18 channels from the computer back to the faders and then control all the beat effects and master effects. So great with AIRA gear, great with analog stuff plugged in, but you could also just have, a laptop with Ableton and one cable and 18 channels coming back in and use all the slicers and everything and be creative. So mixes analog, digital, USB, and PC, or mixes all the inputs through a computer. It can also be a pure control surface as well. Everything sends MIDI and CC control. So very innovative product. Nothing like this really exists, and to really see it, it's best to hear it. And we've got KiNK here, and he's really a master of this stuff. And I mean, truly, it is best understood if you actually see it in action. So I'm going to shut up and let KiNK go.